astrology and horoscopes are complete bullshit. That being said, let's look at why a large portion or percentage of women are into that sort of thing. In fact, it's about 1 in 3 women are into astrology and believe in the whole horoscope thing, whereas it's only 1 in 5 men. And I would hazard a guess that 20% of men that are into astrology are only into it because they're with some dumb broad that's into it and they want to fall in her frame, and they're not actual, men who want to have their own ideas. They want to impress the lady, so they buy into that stuff, right? You got women who are twice as likely to believe in the supernatural, go to a fortune teller or a psychic and believe in that stuff, twice as likely as men, twice as likely to fall into supernatural beliefs. Those are generally the statistics. So question is why, of course, and what does that mean? Well, and first of all, let's look at astrology for a second in case you don't believe me about that. Astrology is not as reliable or believable as even a religion, okay? It's certainly not scientific. It's not a social science. Social sciences have testable data. And so the reason why that is, I shouldn't have to explain this, but I will, is that astrology is not what's called falsifiable, okay? It's not provable, it's not testable, all right? So science, even social sciences and psychology, you have to be able to test out a hypothesis. There's no way of testing any of this stuff with horoscopes and astrology. So it's not a reliable measure for anything that could be objectively true. What they rely on is something called the Barnum effect, which is basically a vague statements that people can latch on to being true. Like, let's say, be careful of those who could give you trouble today, or something like that. And then you're like, let me look at, I had a potential conflict at work. That could be that trouble that I need to avoid. You know what I mean? But it's all bullshit, right? Like, it's a vague statement that you're looking to look for that a coincidence and apply it to your life that particular day or week. It's almost like if I said the number 6 was an important number for you, and then you start looking for things that indicate the number 6, and you look at, for the number 6 all over the place, and then you find it, of course, because number 6 is all over the place, and then you go, see, that number 6 is really a significant number. Like, it's all bullshit. That's not testing a hypothesis. It's looking for coincidences in order to make something true. And what that is what we call rationalization, or bullshitting yourself. So now maybe we're getting into the reason why women usually go for this stuff in higher percentages more than men. Okay, so the reason, but before we get into that though, before I get to my conclusion, it's not even like a traditional belief. Although, horoscopes and astrology was founded by the Babylonians a few thousand years ago. Ancient Babylonians, had followed this stuff. People looked to the stars and the cosmos. That was the thing people did. But none of those traditions were truly preserved, and they're certainly not preserved in the realm of astrology, okay? Astrology is a marketing scheme now. So when you go on horoscope apps or you look up horoscopes, even back in the day when they used to use the newspaper, it was simply a marketing tool, and somebody was making stuff up to fit with signs and so forth in order to drag you into whatever their product was, whether it was to read their publication or use their website or use their app or pay for more stuff or look at their ads. It didn't matter. It's all a marketing ploy now with no root or grounding in history, using mostly that Barnum effect, saying vague statements that you can then look for and apply to your life. But of course, it's just all bullshit. And the reason why it's harmful, really, is because it allows you to rationalize. See, being a slave to truth, if you will, is what's going to improve your life, your lot in life. Focusing on what's objectively true and not bullshitting yourself, starting from a stance or a standpoint of truth and working your way into conclusions and decisions for your life is how you're going to be successful, okay? just doing what dysfunctional behaviors you want to continue to propagate because it's kept you alive this far, and then justifying and rationalizing that behavior isn't going to improve your lot in life. It's just going to make you feel good about doing the same shit that gets you in the same spot that you're in every single day. You know, you'll be the same place now as you will be 5 years from now. Your relationships, whether it's with your current partner or a different one, will be equally as shitty because you'll continue to rationalize the same old behavior. You know, this is why people don't change, right? Because they just want to rationalize the same old shit. And when you have a bunch of stuff out there that promotes and allows you that rationalization and that deflection and that literal gaslighting of yourself, okay, then that is hindering your success and self-improvement. When you have something out there that forces you to look at truth, okay, or at least look at things with an objective view, which might mean you say, gosh, you know what, my behavior isn't exactly productive or right, or I'm wrong, or my belief is wrong, or my attitude is wrong, or my behavior's fucked up. Maybe I need to fix it. Maybe if I want more success, I need to do things differently, right? Like if it's not challenging you to do better, then it's probably, you know, that's what objective truth does, is it challenges you to be better and to do better to get the results that you want, rather than rationalize old behavior that allows you to continue to be in the same place year after year. So astrology and horoscopes are really feel-good bullshit that allows you to continue to justify whatever your instinctual animal nonsense brain wants to do. It allows you to continue the same patterns year after year, whether it's with a current partner, a different partner, it doesn't seem to matter who you're with in a relationship or what job you're in or whatever you're doing. So if you want to chase excellence, you need to chase truth, not bullshit like horoscopes and fortune telling and things that don't matter. Now, where does religion fit in all this? So religion is rooted in an actual tradition, though, that has been preserved over time. Religion is not, although people use it to rationalize also, and it can be used that way, which is negative because there is a lack of objective evidence to prove religious beliefs. But generally speaking, though, you know, if you're truly getting into your religion and not just using it as a rationalization tool, religion can ethically and morally challenge you. Okay, those are belief systems that have developed over time for a reason. Okay, and so and those reasons are something that you could look at and you can actually challenge your own life with. So although there's no objective evidence for a religious belief, it's not the same as astrology, because astrology is a marketing thing now, right? And we've lost that tradition. Whereas, you know, religious beliefs, like say Christianity, is rooted in a tradition that has evolved over a couple thousand years, but it's actually rooted into a belief system that has developed over time. And so there's a structure there, there's a moral and ethical structure to that belief system, and whether or not it fits for you is another. I'm not a theological channel, so that's for you to decide, but there's more validity in taking a leap of faith to a structured tradition that has been helping and assisting people, I mean, arguably over time, right? Versus going with the latest publication of astrology that's really a marketing thing to get you to buy their app or to buy into their bullshit, right? So it's not even a religion. It's not even that valid. But getting into it now to the main conclusion, okay, is why are women so into it compared to men? And the reason is that rationalization hamster that goes on in their brains. So women tend to be emotional thinkers. It's not that women can't be logical, but oftentimes their brains are wired, though, to think emotionally first. And so what they're often the pitfall or downfall for female logic or female thinking is that they're going to have an emotional reaction first and then look to justify that reaction. Okay, they're not actually logically picking apart their beliefs and picking apart their own behavior. They're looking to justify their own behavior and beliefs. And they're looking for evidence and things out there to justify their own bullshit. So females will have, so females oftentimes, right, females that fall into this type of thinking will have a bullshit idea or belief. And instead of looking to challenge that belief to see if it's objectively true, they're looking for things out there to promote and propagate that belief, okay? It's pretty idiotic, in fact. And so what gives you the grounds, so to speak, to really rationalize, what gives you the, if it's objective, true stuff, it's harder to use that stuff to rationalize bullshit, But if I have something that's not falsifiable and not provable, like horoscope stuff, well, then I can use that to justify whatever bullshit I want. Well, I did that because I'm an Aquarius. And that's what just us Aquariuses do. Well, I'm making this terrible decision for myself because I'm an Aquarius. Or I was an asshole the other day because Aquariuses are assholes. You get what I'm saying? It just allows me to just bullshit my way through fucking my existence. All right? So, women love bullshitting themselves. And if you're listening, don't be mad at me because I said that. Just stop bullshitting yourself, all right? That's what you got to do. Be the exception, all right? Not the fucking status quo, okay? But women, and guys will bullshit themselves too, but women love doing it. Like, guys love complicating their lives, and they'll bullshit themselves to do that. But women will just love to take zero responsibility for themselves and bullshit their own way through life and through their behavior. And of course, there's no shortage of beta-ass men that'll sit there and go, you're so special and hot and wonderful and the best, and not challenge them either. So they go through life hoping to not be challenged. And of course, doing the same dysfunctional shit year after year, and that's what women like to do. So, and guys do it too, by the way. Like most guys do it too. They do it differently, but they'll do it too. But women like to do it with this rationalization effect, this emotional reaction, emotional response, and then rationalize. And anything that is non-provable that they can jump onto as a belief system, that's fucking great for them, because now it just gives them all the ammo in the world to never confront their own beliefs or behaviors and just rationalize away. So, leading to the final conclusion of the conclusion is that if somebody is really believing in horoscopes, if not just as a casual or fun endeavor, but actually really believes in it, has their favorite app, has their life fold path, has their fucking, checking their sign every day, and that's actually dictating their behavior. That's actually a thing they use to try to guide their behavior. If that person does that, and it's probably a woman who, if it is the case, you got 1/3 of women are doing that. So if that's what they're doing, that is a red flag, okay? That's a red flag. I'm not saying it should necessarily red flags don't necessarily need to break your possibility of being with that person long term, but it's a pretty big red flag. And I would put it up there as a bigger red flag than what most people would like to guess. Why do I say that? Because, well, if you're looking for a woman, you're probably looking, if you're looking for a woman, if you want long-term success with a woman, that's maybe a better way of saying it, it's probably better to find somebody that is able and capable of facing truth and reality and challenging their own beliefs. I mean, women are naturally solipsistic. However, there's a certain percentage of women who are capable of improving themselves, having moral agency, and actually challenging their beliefs, and challenging their behaviors. And if you are dealing with somebody who latches on to non-falsifiable, non-provable shit like horoscopes and fortune telling or whatever, or a brand of religion or spirituality that never challenges them and is pretty much just a bunch of bullshit to justify their behavior, what you're going to deal with is somebody who can't or who won't change or challenge their bad behavior. So when you get into a conflict or a problem, let's say they're not meeting a certain standard that you have in the relationship, instead of looking at their behavior objectively and challenging it and seeing, you know what, is this really the right thought process or right behavior, or do I need to change? Instead of doing that, they're going to continue to double down on their beliefs that are rooted in bullshit, and then they'll look at all the bullshit to justify the way they are. Oh, well, I know you don't want me to be a nagging bitch to you, but I'm a nagging bitch because I'm a Sagittarius or what. I don't know anything about astrology, so I don't know if that's one of the traits or who fucking cares, right? Because it's all bullshit. But you know what I mean? Like it's like, instead of saying, you know, okay, you know what, I need to not be like that in an argument, or I need to be, you know, I need to not be disrespectful to you in public. They'll say, well, I'm this sign, and that's just how we are, so you gotta accept me for who I am, you know what I mean? And so it just gives them this permission to not ever make any changes. And quite frankly, if you're chasing excellence, you want somebody that's chasing excellence too. And I'm not sitting here from a negative standpoint on women and thinking that women can't chase excellence or women can't improve themselves. They absolutely can, okay? And I think that you're looking for the type that's willing to face down some of these things and willing to do it. They may have some obstructions. There may be some biological obstructions to doing some of these, you know, personal growth things for some, you know what I mean? That might be a thing, but that doesn't mean women can't, you know, grow and change, okay? So I think that if you want somebody and have any propensity for long-term success and not just an occasional bang on a weekend, I think that you need to be looking for somebody who has the ability to at least look at objective truth and at least is going to make the effort to not bullshit themselves. Somebody who's falling in line with astrology, and especially when you challenge them on it and they double down on their belief and they know it's bullshit. I mean, there's no fucking verifiable anything, and they're still doubling down on beliefs that allow them to rationalize. I mean, what you're dealing with is somebody who is just committed to bullshitting themselves for the rest of their lives. So what can you do with that, right? That's just going to lead you a lot of frustration. That's not the person that you want to be around, okay? Or be with, rather, you know? So that's a little bit of unpacking there. I know I just probably offended about a third of women out there who believe in astrology, and because of their inability to challenge their own beliefs, they won't actually look at what I'm saying, and they'll instead, you know, look at me as, you know, a terrible person for possibly degrading them for their beliefs, you know, whatever. But I don't give a fuck. That's just the way it is. I'm a slave to truth here, not a slave to someone's feelings. So thanks again for tuning in. Look out for those red flags. Find somebody who's willing to grow with you and chase excellence and support you to chase excellence, not deflect themselves and rationalize their own bad behavior. All right. Have a good one.